Hi guys, welcome to me reviewing Last of Us Part 2. I just literally finished this one. So what did I think about it? I want to say it was okay. It was a decent game in a lot of mechanics were decent. The world was huge. There was a lot of things like it's. In general, I think it is an okay game. What bothered me with this game was you either had 250 million enemies or the world was open for you to loot exactly how you wanted to. So there was like, I think the balance between looting and enemies were a little bit off. When it comes to the world itself, I felt like it was quite big. I got very annoyed a few times where you are interacting with something and you're supposed to go forward, and doing that, interacting with that thing makes you go forward, and it becomes a cutscene and you cannot go back. For example, you're moving a shelf, and then the cutscene immediately starts, and you continue walking through there without you being able to go back into the room, or after you push the shelf, being able to move around and like grab whatever loot you would like to. So there was a few times where I missed that. Personally, I'm the kind of person who likes to go around and loot a lot. However, I was not able to do that this time because of as soon as you interact with the item, then you had to move forward, which kind of bothered me a little bit. It bothered me tremendously about the playing as Abby part. That whole part, that whole thing, that whole storyline, I get it. I understand why they wanted to have it in the game. I felt like it was quite... Okay, so the thing is, I understand that because of that storyline, to understand her depth, to understand where she's coming from, that makes you accept Ellie's decision in the end. So like, knowing that Abby is actually a good person justifies knowing that Abby is a good person justifies Ellie's letting her go at the end. However, this whole game, from the very beginning almost to the end, it's been all about finding Abby and kicking her ass. And you stop the game by letting her go. That is extremely unsatisfying for me. Some other parts that I felt was good or bad. There was a lot of story in this game, and this game is a really story heavy game, which I feel like is okay, but I felt like there was so much, almost too much. Because there was a lot of cutscenes, a lot of cinematics where they were walking and they were talking, and for the depth of the game, I think that's okay. Personally, I like stories, but I think it became a little bit overwhelming, especially because you have a huge chunk of cutscenes. You have a huge chunk of just walking around and looting like me, which could be okay if I would have like just ran past all of those parts. That would have been fine. But then again, I also picked hard mode because I wanted it to be a little bit challenging. But I had full resources all the time, almost all the time. So I was expecting that I needed to, because I always had ammo, I always had grenades or whatever, so I always had what I needed. Like, I didn't have to ration with it, so to speak. I never had to worry about, like, I know I tried to melee a lot of times and I tried to stealth kill, but that was because I was hoping that it would be a situation where I needed to be careful for my resources, which I actually hate, but I that's why I pick hard, because I want to challenge myself. I love the depth of them. So anyway, huge chunk cutscene, huge chunk looting, and then a little bit of fighting, and I think that kind of balance needs to be a little bit better. Mechanics wise, I didn't see much issues with it. I felt like it was okay. A lot of things, for being a game you play on a controller, I think that's fine. There is, however, twice in this game where I some way managed to fuck up the graphics. I managed to get some kind of some greenish blackish, and I think it's some kind of accessibility setting. So I don't know how I did it. I don't know if it's a shortcut, but that kind of accessibility kind of started showing up, and that made me like unable to actually proceed more in the game. So I actually had to die in this. So I had 2 times where that happened. I had to die to reset that, and then I could continue. So, but it's not a big deal, to be honest. I wouldn't rate the game differently just because of 2 bugs, because that happens. Bugs will always be there. On top of that, what do I feel like? It was okay. Like, I didn't get... My problem is that I got really put off because I had to play Abby. And I think that made me lose interest in the story, and it made me want to just get through it, that part, so I can play Ellie again. Because you played Ellie and Joel in the whole first game, and then you go here and you play Ellie and you're so invested in her, and then you have to play her enemy. And even though it's supposed to show kind of the other side, it still kind of frustrated me, because my goal then just like, okay, so now I instead of being focused on only revenge, then now I had to get feelings in there and feel sorry for Abby too. But then, you know, and then Ellie let her go, so that's kind of justified later. But still, like, it just bothered me so much. And then there was also one part where gosh, there was something that I wanted to say. Yeah, when they got to the farm in the end there, in the end, after Seattle, then it felt like it was like the game kind of finished a few times, which means that it was a little bit annoying. But that's fine. I feel like it was fine. When it comes to, I don't know what else to say. I felt like it didn't capture me as much as the first game did. It wasn't bad, but I was hoping for a little bit more. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will give this game a 5 out of 10 because it's nice, but it was quite long, and because there was all of these issues. It was long because of the Abby part. If we would have cut that out, it would have been perfect, I think. And of course, in the end, kill Ellie or kill Abby, or give the choice to the player. If you have that Abby section, give the choice to the player if they want to kill her or not. Because then, yeah, I think that would have actually been a good. Because then you could either choose to play it in the way that you wanted to with the revenge in Ellie, or you could choose the good ending, so to speak, where you let her go. So that would have been, I think that would have saved the game in the end there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll give this a 5 out of 10, which is a little bit disappointing because I was hoping that it would be much better. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I will see you next time.